How's everyone doing? Great, great.
Russell, how nice was it for you to hook up with Jimmy on a fade route in the end zone like that when it's kind of been a struggle for you guys to hit that sort of play?
Well, it's big. I mean, I think that was a big play in the game. It was a time where we needed a big play, and Jimmy came down with it. And so a lot of hard work goes into a lot of things. Everything that we do, and he's a great player. Arguably one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. So just giving him a chance.
What is the type of consideration you have to go through on that sort of play? Like, what are the things that you work on? What do you want to try to get out of that sort of a play?
It's one of those things you just throw it to him and let him go do it, and let him go do his thing. It's really that simple, not overthinking it. And so, he's bigger than anybody he's going to see on the field covering him. So, he's pretty good at catching the ball and making contested catches.
Is there a part of you that thinks that you could have been even doing more of that in the last couple of years or so with Jimmy?
I always think we can score more touchdowns. I think that's just that's our focus, and hopefully we'll score a lot more coming up in this, going towards the second half of the season.
How about Ethan Posick? What have you seen out of him if he has to step in and play quite a bit this week?
Well, I think Ethan's he's a guy that plays with a lot of courage. He's tough as nails. He's smart as can be. He's a guy who he's really passionate about learning. And so he's come in very early, and he's played I think 4 different positions already. He's played center, he's played right guard, I believe he's played right tackle, left guard, and so he can really do it all. He played a lot of positions in college too as well. At LSU, being the SEC, so that's a tough conference to play in, and he really showed himself in the preseason. We felt like, and I think he'll do a great job when he gets a chance to play this week.
Giants pretty aggressive on defense and coming off a good game last week. Just what are the challenges facing them?
Well, they have a very good defense. They have a lot of great players, and they have a lot of star players on their defense, and they can do a lot of special things. So the key for us, is getting the ball out, is being efficient, capitalizing on big plays when we can, and just being tough-minded. It's going to be a battle. This team is, the record doesn't show how good they are, in my opinion. They're 1-5, I believe it is, but the reality is all their games have been super close against some tough teams, and against some really good players too. And so they've been right in pretty much every game, and unfortunately for them, they've lost a couple tight ones. And so we know that they're going to be ready to roll, and they just came off a big win. I think it was a Sunday night football, and so we know they'll be ready.
Do you feel like there's been a point in time this season where your offense has really felt good about what it's doing?
Yeah, for sure. I think that we've definitely done some really good things. I think that we've had several games where we've made some big plays in big scenarios. We've toughed out some tough situations. The 2 games we lost, we're going against two very good teams, in tough situations and tough environments, and we still managed to have that fight and almost win them. And that's what the National Football League is like. You notice, you look left to the right, there's no team that's undefeated. There's no team that's perfect right now, and we're just trying to get better as we go. That's really the simple focus for us. It's very simple-minded, but we want to continue to have this progression, and that's where I think that we're looking forward to doing that.
When are you guys at your best as an offense?
And that's a tough question. I think there's so many different scenarios. I think that obviously up-tempo is really good for us. I think I think it puts pressure on the defense. I think that in 4-minute situations we've been really good this year. I also think even coming from behind or where the game is a little bit tight, there's no fear. And so that for us is really crucial. And as the season goes on, to be able to have those 3 characteristics is really good for us. And so that's where I think that we can continue to grow. And I'm excited about our running game and the guys that we have, and what Thomas Rawls can do and what Eddie Lacy can do, and what C.J. Prosise and J.D. McKissick can do. And that's going to be a big force as well.
Is there a downside to try to going up-tempo from the beginning of the game?
Yeah, there can be a downside. I don't believe in the downside. I don't focus on the downside part of it. But I think that every game kind of dictates itself a little bit, but based on who you're playing, and you got to have a strategy a little bit. I think, so. For us, I think up tempo is really good, like I said, because it puts pressure on the defense. We've always done it well since 2012. Really, we've been really good at that, I think. And so, for us, I think that's something that we can always do and hop into and feel confident about. And we practice it a lot. And so there may be times where we do that throughout several games.
Do you notice fatigue along the defensive line when you guys are going up tempo?
Yeah, you definitely do. I definitely think you notice defensive linemen get tired. When you're going up tempo, they're rushing full speed. They're going hard as they can go, and so if you can have a long withstanding drive, where you go one play after another, that's a key thing for us.
Do you tend to get simpler looks from the defense too when you guys aren't huddling and going up tempo?
Can you say that again?
Do you tend to get simpler looks from the defense?
Sometimes, depending on who you're playing. I think that every defense, sometimes they have a bunch of calls in 2 minutes, and sometimes they don't. And so most teams, on a generic level, most teams do get a little bit more simple because there's only so much they can do. There's only so much calls. So we're going so fast, it kind of puts them on their heels a little bit, and I think that's an advantage us.
Russell, you've always had a pretty optimistic outlook about everything, right, since you've shown up here. Has there been any moments this year where you found yourself to be frustrated with what's happening on offense?
No, not at all, actually. I think for us, we're 3-2. We're here to win football games. We're here to go win, and that's my only focus is how can I help our football team win in whatever way. So I think we're doing some really good things. We've played some tough teams, and we've overcome. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season and looking forward to this next game. We're focused on the Giants right now. We're focused on playing at a high level against a very good defense, and that's our only focus.
What you said you're excited about the running game. What do you see in that? Do you think that's going to make that get better here the rest of the way?
Well, I think that everything doesn't have to happen all at once. I do think that for us, it's a few more fits here and there. It's a few more just getting norths here and there where you're just getting the first down. I thought last week it was going against a very good defensive line last week, or I guess the week before that. Going against the Rams, for example, they have a very good defensive line. We were able to get some big runs when we needed them, and I believe those big runs will open up. So we've had, even in the fourth quarter, in some big moments too, with 8 minutes to go in the games, we've been able to have a great, really 4-minute/8 minute offense where we've been able to run the ball really well and get some big runs. And so I believe that it'll all click when it needs to, and we're going to make that happen by just the way we practice.
Russell, your thoughts on Commissioner Goodell saying that he thinks a player should stand during the playing of the national anthem?
What's the question?
Just your thoughts on Commissioner Goodell saying that he thinks that players should stand during the playing of our national anthem.
I think everybody has their own opinions and everything else. I think that I believe in the national anthem in the sense of America and what it represents. It's supposed to represent, at least I should say. Everybody has their different views. For our football team, we're about bringing people together, and that's really our only focus. The good thing is there is actual dialogue, and I think that's really the intent of all this, is to have dialogue around what's going on in our country more than anything else, and actually converting that dialogue into change. And I think that change is what matters more than anything else, is being able to love people better and to try to do better and throughout that process.
What has stood out to you about Paul Richardson this year?
Say again?
What has stood out to you about Paul Richardson this year?
Well, he's been really explosive. You think about the last game he played. He had some big-time catches, getting upfield, making people miss, running over a guy. He's caught a couple touchdowns so far. He can really do it all. And I think that his game, as he's gone out through his career, when he came in as a rookie, he was really talented, and then he had those. He got injured a couple times there, and then he's overcome those obstacles, and that shows the adversity that he can overcome and making it temporary. And so, I think for Paul, this offseason, just to be able to work with him as much as I was fortunate to be able to work with him and just see his attention to detail, to see the love and the passion that he put into every day. Even this bye week, to be able to work with him this bye week and the work that he put in, and he's very controlled in his mind right now. He's at peace. He's also has this fire and passion that he plays with, and he's as fast as anyone can be. He's world-class speed. He's got world-class hands, and he's got world-class toughness too. And so, he really demonstrates that at a high level. And he's not one of those guys that's going to play football soft. He's one of those guys that's going to play as tough as he can be, and he's going to attack the football when it's in the air. He's going to run by you. He's going to make you miss. He's going to do all those things that you want, and that's what makes Paul Richardson so great.
What did he show you when he came back in the San Francisco game after messing up his finger and catching the touchdown?
Well, he made a clutch touchdown catch, obviously, to win the game, and for him to have that injury to his finger or his hand, and then to come back in, especially if he had seen it, it was pretty ugly. Just for him to come back in, it shows what he's willing to do for our football team, and that's what we all want from the 11 guys on offense, to 11 guys on defense, to 11 guys on special teams. We want everybody to be all in at all times, and that's what we're doing. And you can definitely feel it, you can sense it, you can notice it on the field, and Paul's just another great demonstration of that.
Did you look at his finger after?
Yeah, it was all split open. I mean, it was nasty. So, so just to think about him sewing that finger up and coming back in the game and making the game-winning touchdown, I mean, that's one of those stories that he'll be able to tell his kids and everybody else, and we'll be telling our kids about the play that he made.
The workouts that you guys did during the bye week, was that something that he initiated or you?
Both of us are always talking about doing stuff together, and he was down in California, I was down there too as well, so we were able to connect and go down there. And so we kind of, typically what happens is we try to plan, we talk about with everyone, hey, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing for the bye week? What are you doing for the off season? So we kind of know where guys are, and so we definitely connected on that and wanted to make sure that we got our work in and stayed fresh. And he's, like I said, he's having a great season so far, and so we want to make sure that we continue to really build off of that and what he's been able to do.
You mentioned how simple it is getting the ball to Jimmy on the goal line. With guys like Paul and like Tyler, is getting those explosive plays out of them as simple to it, or is there more to it?
Well, the explosive plays is what I think separates our offense and our team just in general from the defense making explosive plays to also offense and special teams. And offense in particular, I think our goal is to have a lot of explosive plays, whether it's the run game or the passing game or both. When we have those explosive plays, that's when we really break games open. And that's where we make that separation between winning by 7 or 10 points or winning by 30. And I think that's for us. That's always our focus. We want to be explosive, and when we think about Paul Richardson, we think about Tyler Lockett. Those are some of the most explosive players in the National Football League, and you want to get the ball to those guys.
Anything else? Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks.